Okay, why do people put on weight? Well, there's a lot of counter arguments saying that whole foods cause the weight gain, and it's a lot of overeating from that. And I say that's rubbish. It's from the extracts of whole foods. Why people continue to argue that whole foods cause the problem, like eating too many potatoes and eating too many burgers, is beyond me. I don't want to cite study after study, there's plenty of them. I'm going off of what I've experienced in my life, and I notice that I put on extra thickness around my waist from consuming extracts, and it's mostly the sugar extracts that cause problems. And you can see it with other people. All you have to do is track their diets. I've read countless stories of how people have lost weight by reducing the amount of soda they consume. Well, soda is loaded full of sugar extracts. Where do those sugar extracts come from? They come from corn. They come from sugar beets. It's an extract that's usually it involves corn being taken to the factory and then having hexane, which is a strong gasoline acid, added to help separate the sugar from the rest of the pulp. Then from there they got their sugar, and they could dehydrate it down to its crystalline form or keep it in its liquid form. They can choose how thick they want the sugar syrup or how dangerous they want it. And it's the same, it goes very similar along the same lines as how you make cocaine. Making cocaine and making sugar are very similar. All it is a matter of extracting the phytochemical, which is a phytochemical is what you find in the plant. When it's extracted from the plant, it becomes a chemical, and then you can dilute it to the taste that you want. This obesity epidemic has been going on all my life, and pretty much the beginning of my life from the mid-70s. It was like I completely grew up with it. It's been a part of my life, and I've seen a lot of friends and relatives put on all kinds of excess weight throughout the 80s and 90s, and act confused as to why it happened. Why did they put on all this weight? Well, a lot of them don't really seem to care. Some of them do seem to care when it gets kind of bad. Some people have a breaking point, but a lot of people they don't seem to really get it, and even nutritionists don't seem to get it. I mean, we've probably all seen the picture of the Belgium's new health minister who's severely obese. It must be some kind of a joke with them, but the people just don't seem to either get it or they don't care, because sugar is very addictive. It's like a drug addict who can't quit. Sugar is very similar to alcohol too. The only difference is that you get high off of alcohol. There's it's chemical in it that makes you feel very loopy, and that's a result of the fermentation process, fermenting sugar. But sugar, since it's not fermented, it won't give you that loopy feeling, but it'll give you that great sense of well-being after consuming it. But since it's only an extract, there are no other nutrients to help process it in your body, so you're left with a major deficiency and inability to fully integrate that sugar, and so it's added to the fat cells to await more nutrients to help process through the extra sugar. But people just don't seem to care, and you see a lot of overweight people. Half the people you see now in America have an obesity problem and fatty liver disease, and it's really messing with their psychology. Our medical bills are up because of this excess sugar problem, and the economy can't improve itself until we improve our health. Health is number one for people to think efficiently and perform effectively. You can't get past that problem. Yet a lot of people continue to argue that it's whole foods that cause the problem and not extracts from the whole foods. I mean, there's a history to it. Chemists have been extracting things since the late 1700s, so it may seem like extracting chemicals from foods has always been around and it's just a natural part of life, but it's really not that natural. 1700s, I mean, it seems like it's a long time ago, but it's really not in the history of the human race. Our ancestors before that weren't extracting anything, so it's really something that we've brought on recently. Our bodies have not adapted to, yet people are trying to adapt to these extracts, thinking that is the future, but it doesn't make any sense. It's not the future, because the extracts lack the nutrients that were once in their whole foods. There are phytochemicals also that doctors and scientists can't make up for. They just don't know how to also add phytochemicals in a multivitamin effectively enough. That's why vitamins are worthless. They're no good, because there's also phytochemicals that manipulate the hormones of the body and also add nutrients. Like, for example, the rosehip, it doesn't have exactly a higher vitamin C content, like the highest vitamin C content, but it's got a phytochemical that makes the digestion of vitamin C much more effective than just consuming the vitamin C at tablet or whatever you consume. Playing with extracts is a big mistake, and for people to confuse whole foods with extracts is wrong.